Hello again. Welcome to the 12th episode in our video series. I'm Dr. David Van Nuys, co-author with Michael Kelleher of the book This is the Zodiac Speaking Into the Mind of a Serial Killer. By now I'm going to assume you've seen my previous 11 YouTube installments. If you haven't, you should go back and see them first. Now once again, thanks to all of you who've posted comments to keep going. In our last installment, I read the first of two letters that he sent on the same day to the San Francisco Chronicle, and these were sent on November 9th, 1969, a month after the murder of Paul Stein, a young grad student and part-time cab driver in San Francisco. Today, I'll cover the second letter, which is quite long. Since YouTube has a 10-minute limit, I may get cut off and need to continue in a subsequent episode. And that's why I'm trying to read really fast here. So here's the letter. This is the Zodiac speaking. Up to the end of October 1, I've killed 7 people. I've grown rather angry with the police for their telling lies about me. So I shall continue the way of collecting slaves. I shall no longer announce to anyone when I commit my murders. They shall look like routine robberies, killings of anger, and a few fake accidents, etc. The police shall never catch me because I have been too clever for them. 1. I look like the description passed out only when I do my thing. The rest of the time I look entirely different. I shall not tell you what my disguise consists of when I kill. 2. As of yet I've left no fingerprints behind me, contrary to what police say. In my killings I wear transparent fingertip guards. All it is 2 coats of airplane cement coated on my fingertips, quite unnoticeable and very effective. 3. My killing tools have been bought through the mail order outfits before the ban went into effect, except one, and it was bought out of the state. So as you can see, the police don't have much to work on. If you wonder why I was wiping the cab down, I was leaving fake clues for the police to run all over town with, as one might say. I gave the cops some busy work to do to keep them happy. I enjoy needling the blue pigs. Hey, blue pig, I was in the park. You were using fire trucks to mask the sound of your cruising prowl cars. The dogs never came within 2 blocks of me, and they were to the west, and there was only 2 groups of parking about 10 minutes apart, and then the motorcycles went by about 150 feet away, going from south to northwest. P.S. 2 cops pulled a goof about 3 minutes after I left the cab. I was walking down the hill to the park when this cop pulled up, and one of them called me over and asked me if I saw anyone acting suspicious or strange in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Then I said yes, there was this man who was running by, waving a gun, and the cops peeled rubber and went around the corner as I directed them, and as I disappeared into the park, a block and a half away, never to be seen again. Hey, pig, doesn't it rile you up to have your nose rubbed in your boo-boos? If you cops think I'm going to take on a bus the way I stated I was, you deserve to have holes in your heads. Take 1 bag of ammonium nitrite fertilizer and 1 gallon of stove oil and dump a few bags of gravel on top, and then set the shit off, and we'll positively ventilate anything that should be in the way of the blast. The death machine is already made. I would have sent you pictures, but you would be nasty enough to trace them back to the developer and then to me, so I shall describe my masterpiece to you. The nice part of it is all the parts can be bought on the open market with no questions asked. 1 battery-powered clock will run for approximately a year, 1 photoelectric switch, 2 copper leaf springs, 2 6-volt car batteries, 1 flashlight bulb and reflector, 1 mirror, 2 18-inch cardboard tubes, black with shoe polish inside and out. And he includes a diagram of this bomb that he's describing. He goes on to say, the system check out from one end to the other in my tests. What you do not know is whether the death machine is at the site or whether it's being stored in my basement for future use. I think you do not have the manpower to stop this one by continually searching the roadsides and looking for this thing, and it won't do to reroute and reschedule the buses because the bomb can be adapted to new conditions. Have fun. By the way, it could be rather messy if you try to bluff me. P.S. Be sure to print the part I marked out on page 3. about being stopped by the police, or I shall do my thing to prove that I am the Zodiac. Ask the Vallejo cop about my electric gun sight, which I use to start collecting my slaves. Okay, I'm going to have to rush through this. Now, going through the letter, making my comments. He starts out saying, "This is the Zodiac speaking. Up to the end of October, I've killed 7 people." So once again, the writer is bragging. Is there any truth to this number? Actually, he attempted with 7 people, but he only succeeded in killing 5. He goes on to say, "I've grown rather angry with the police for their telling lies about me." I comment, the writer cannot abide others who do not agree with his interpretation of the world. He's made this clear in other letters. He goes on to say, "So shall I change the way of collecting slaves? I shall," and here the writer again, he uses the word "I shall" construction twice in this letter. It still jumps out of the page as a bit odd unless he's from the British Commonwealth or he's speaking King James English. He says, "I shall no longer announce to anyone when I commit my murders. They shall look like routine robberies, killings of anger, and a few fake accidents, etc." Now, what he threatens here would deprive him of the attention and notoriety that seems to be such an important part of his gratification. If he's able to carry out this plan, then the attention must not be the most gratifying thing about his activities. This raises the question as to whether he also derives some kind of sexual gratification from killing. That would be another reason for stabbing a victim so many times, because it felt so good to be a killer. Now he goes on to write, "The police shall never catch me because I've been too clever for them." Now, besting authority is very important to the Zodiac. Often it's the father who represents authority. One has to wonder about the nature of the writer's relationship, of the Zodiac's relationship with his father, if there was one on the scene. I suspect that Zodiac is frightened of other men, and killing them is one way to master that fear. He goes on to say, "In my killings I wear transparent fingertip guards. All of it is 2 coats of airplane cement coated on my fingertips, quite unnoticeable and very effective. 3, my killing tools have been bought through the mail order outfits before the ban went into effect, except one, it was bought out of state, so you can see the police don't have much to work on. If you wonder why I was wiping the cab down, I was leaving fake clues." So again, this fingerprint masking technique seems to indicate a technical flair. Is this common knowledge among certain criminals at that time, way back in the late 60s? Has it been described in books? Where did Zodiac acquire this information? So that's something that we should keep in mind and wonder about. He goes on to write, "For the police to run all over town with, as one might say, I gave the cops some busy work to do, keeping them happy. I enjoy needling the blue pigs. Hey, blue pig, So here Zodiac says that he enjoys needling the blue pigs. In other words, he enjoys provoking authority. He hates authority and authority figures. Again, you have to wonder about the father. The writer is definitely a reflection of the times, the late 1960s. He grabbed onto astrology, perhaps, in choosing Zodiac, and here he's grabbing onto the jargon of the anti-war movement. Perhaps latching onto these symbols, these bits of jargon, gives him some sense of belonging in his mind. Perhaps he fancies himself as part of the in crowd. However, he's probably not part of any in crowd. Now, I think I'm going to need to break this analysis in half at this point because I'm about to run out of time. So let me just say that there will be a part B to this that you'll find on YouTube. And let me urge that you please watch for subsequent episodes in which I'll continue to move through the material. And if you're interested in psychology, be sure to check out my podcast series, Shrink Wrap Radio, at www.shrinkwrapradio.com. So until next time,